Hi everyone, it's Rax. We finally got the final patch notes and we finally got the release date. I'm going to go over everything with you. I'm going to show you a ton of things here. So let's start with the patch notes and see what's coming out. So first of all, Season 23 starts April 2nd. So that means, that means if it ends on the 28th, it starts already on the 2nd. That means there's going to be 4 days of downtime, and then we're going to go right into it. It's Easter weekend, so Blizzard is kind of keeping up their theme of releasing it on holidays, because 2 times ago it was on the 4th of July, which is Independence Day in the United States, and now we're doing it on Easter weekend. So on one hand, that might be bad because people might have plans. On the other hand, people might have the day off. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about the holiday release? Anyway, it's coming very soon. Let's keep on going here. So we don't have a seasonal theme. The follower revamp that's coming is for everything, including non-season. So we have the emanate powers. We've talked about this a long time, but just in case this is the first time you've heard this, followers will equip certain powers and emanate them to you. I have a full guide on that if you want to hear about that. Now, this is one of the best things about this season. I'm not a huge cosmetic person. I know some people are, but the cosmetics this season are amazing. And what I mean by cosmetics this time are the pets. So you get the Emerald Dragon, which if you guys have ever watched my stream, everybody knows I always use the Emerald Dragon pet. Everyone always asks me, where do you get that? It was a reward only in a previous season. This is your season to get it. Also, look at this awesome little banner. What's it called? A banner or the portrait frame that you get, along with this cool Lacooni Cub pet. So I'm not usually one that goes for pets or anything like that, but these things are pretty damn cool to me. So Blizzard's on top of their game. If you want to get the Emerald Serpent, now is the time to do it. The conquests this season are going to be extremely easy. If we can click on this, reach the 50 million gold streak, that's extremely easy. Speed Demon is going to be super easy with the follower system. Reach 75 solo, everybody can do that. So the conquest to reach these rewards couldn't possibly be easier. So for all the casuals out there that are just in for all the rewards, you're going to be able to get them quite easily. Let's keep going. Hadrix Diff, we talked about this in the tier list already, but these are all the things that we already announced. The best one is definitely the Wrath of the Waste for the Barbarian, with the second best one probably being the Unhallowed Essence for the Demon Hunter. Let's keep going and look at the changes. So they nerfed Knight's Veil on the Scoundrel, which was by far probably the best skill out of all of them. And I don't mind this nerf. It was way too good. It was 100% crit chance for 10 seconds. That seems a little strong. The fact that they nerf it to 4, I think balances the followers pretty good. Again, check out my video on the full follower guide. Going down here, we don't have any other changes to the followers, I think. So let's look at the items. Teleport. Adjusted the wizard's teleportation animation speed. I did ask them, and this is a buff. So teleporting is going to be better on the wizard, so that's good. In Land of the Dead, the Invigoration rune was changed, I think, to avoid some immortality shenanigans. So we have 2 set changes. What happened here? The Rathma set. Your permanent minions, which I take to mean it no longer includes the skeletal mages. The cooldown has been buffed. It used to be 1 second, then they nerfed it to 0.25. Now they made it 0.5. So this is a buff to what's currently there. So that's good. They increased this multiplier. This multiplier increase is pretty much meaningless. 8,500 and 9,000 is barely an increase. So it's like a third of a GR tier. So this is essentially nothing, but I guess it's going up, so yay. And the bracers. It used to be Army of the Dead and then Bone Spirit. Then they removed Army of the Dead, and now they changed their mind and removed Bone Spirit, and now it's only Army of the Dead. And it increases the damage or double this bonus against an active target of command skeletons. So I think that's the right move. I think that the Bone Spirit version of this set is not what I'm interested in playing at all. I like the Army of the Dead version. They remove the immortality. They're helping you out with the cooldown. It has the tiniest damage buff, and they gave it a buff to Army of the Dead back with the bracers. Overall, what does this mean? It's going to be like a C tier build. It's going to be like middle of the road. And I think that the Bone Spear Necro and the Rat Necro are just going to completely outshine it in every way. So these changes, the cooldown going up, the damage going up a tiny bit, and focusing on Army of the Dead, all of them are good and in the right direction, but I will not play this build. It's not going to be insane for anything. Let's go to Firebirds, and here comes the bad news, guys. If you have a box of Kleenex, grab it. You're going to need it. This is really bad. The 7,500 multiplier got cut back to where it was. That's what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to change this back to this and hopefully leave the rest of it. It would have nerfed it 6 tiers. It would have still been an incredible build and people would have had fun with it. But there's more. They cut the combustion stacks in half, but they're still going to give you the infinite teleport. And then they cut the multiplier in half on the 6-piece. Ooh, what does that mean? We're going to look in just 1 second. Real quick before we do that. The God DH got buffed, and now we get 4 pierces. So the God DH should be in good shape. We have 4 pierces, and we have a higher multiplier, and we don't have to worry about missile dampener or fishing anymore. So it's going to be incredible in speeds, and it's going to get nerfed in solo pushing, but it's still going to be a very good build. I think that where the God DH finally landed is still quite good. So I'm very happy with that. But now let's go to an Excel spreadsheet. So our old damage, we used to have 100 combustion stacks with the 7,500 2-piece, and then the 4,000 multiplier, we did whatever, this much damage. Now we do 50, 3,000, and our multiplier got cut in half, and we deal this damage. We divide them, and we lost a 9.8 multiplier. Every time you increase a GR tier, their health goes up by 1.17. So whatever tier number we land on that lands with this multiplier that we lost is how many tiers nerfed it is. So 9.8 falls about right here between 14 and 15. So it's essentially a 15 tier nerf. So what does that mean? First of all, let me fix these little columns here, do a little fixeroo here so we can see it. There we go. For the testing, when I did it on the PTR, you guys probably saw on the PTR, we actually had the highest clear with a non-legacy etch sigil. I think we had the highest clear on the PTR. But I had 8,000 Gons. I had very good gear, not perfect gear, but very good gear. I had 150 gems and augs. And I cleared 8 of 8 solo GR 150s that I opened, and I averaged like 13 minutes. So then we tried to like extrapolate what's the absolute highest tier you could clear. Well, if I'm clearing all of them in a 13-minute average, and I think maybe like my best possible time might be like 7 minutes, maybe if it existed, I could clear a GR 157 with how Firebirds used to be. But now we go down 15 tiers, and now it's GR 142-ish is going to be the ceiling for it. And now it's just an A tier build. A tier build is fine, but it's not even the best build for wizards anymore. Twister is better. So what does that mean? For the meta, it's going to be rats. It's always rats. I have a guide on rats. I have a lot of guides on rats on my channel if you want to read it. It's the same thing as always. The meta is going to be the same. For the 150s. Maybe it's actually going to be Satyr Trash Clear and Satyr RGK. It might be both. The Satyr is so good because the Witch Doctor also got nerfed and the Bone Spear went down significantly. So it could actually, crazily enough, be a Satyr doing all of the damage now that Firebirds is dead. Because the speeds and the metas for Firebirds are totally dead. Possibly, maybe it could be a Rift Guardian killer, but probably not even that. Firebirds with a 15 tier nerf is still a good build, but man, ow. Got nerfed pretty bad. So if we look at the patch overall, Firebirds used to be an F tier build, and now it's A tier. Well, I mean, that's a win. Rathma was an F tier build, now it's like a C tier build. I guess I call that a win, but I'm not going to play this. They did a good job on the God DH. The fishing for the missile dampening was stupidly cumbersome and nobody liked it. Maybe it was too powerful, that's fine. But the way that they changed it is going to make it still very powerful, especially in the lower levels and the lower tiers. In fact, people who play the game casually might actually find that God is more powerful now. And it still will do well in solo. It'll still get into the 140s, and you don't have to fish for the missile dampener, and it will still be the Demon Hunter's best solo pushing build. So I really like what they did with the God DH. It's still a great build, so that was a nice job. New leaderboards are going to be fun for all the different sets. You can push whatever you want and have your achievements shown on the leaderboards. The follower revamp and the emanation, of course, it could always be better and they can iterate on it, but it's definitely 1,000 times better than the current version that we have. They have really good pet rewards this season. The Emerald Serpent and that Lacuni Cub, those are better pet rewards than I've seen in a long time. So you got to give them credit for that. Super easy conquest for the casuals to get everything. And it has 2 of the best starter sets, Whirlwind and Unhallowed Essence. If you start Barb or DH, you're just going to be murdering. So the only real loser here is Witch Doctors. Witch Doctors got nothing, and their best build got nerfed 5 tiers. And there was no changes to it. So I feel really bad for Witch Doctors. They are by far the worst class. So they really need some help. So what you guys are probably wondering is, how does this impact the tier list? And the answer is not much. One thing for sure was, so we said everything assumed Firebirds would get a reasonable nerf, but I would say it got a crushing nerf. So Witch Doctor is still going to be the worst class by a significant margin. So that's the same. Satyr is definitely probably better than 6th. Satyr shouldn't be 6th. In fact, their stock in groups has got to be moving up. So they might be the Trash Clear and the RGK. We're going to have to see what people come up with. But don't sleep on the Satyr. Satyr is going to be quite good, even though they're in 6th. The Monk is exactly the same. The Wizards, groups in 5th, I don't know if they're going to come to any group stuff anymore. I mean, you're probably not going to come as Firebirds unless it's the Firebirds RGK. Maybe Twister makes it in, but this group ranking of 5th is very, very, let's say, it's a nice rating that I gave it. It probably should be a little bit lower than that now. Solo push is exactly the same because the Twister Wizard is still going to dominate, but Firebirds is not going to be the winner anymore. Demon Hunter got even a little bit stronger. They might not get last anymore since they got an extra Pierce, but they're still going to be kind of toward the bottom, I would guess, unless people are just amazing with God DH. But maybe their solo push improves slightly. But other than that, Demon Hunters, I mean, look how good their ratings are. They're extremely good. Necro maybe is not the best in group. I mean, it's still the best. It's still the best in rats. If it's not going to be the Trash Clear, I think maybe Barb is the best in groups. But Necro is about where it's going to be because we weren't counting on the Rathmas set impacting these rankings at all because it wasn't good before and we didn't expect it to ever be good. And the Barb is easily the best. I mean, it's I would say comfortably the best. It has the best starting set with Whirlwind. It's invited to absolutely everything. Whirlwind's going to do decent on solo push, going to get at least mid 140s. The Barbarian has no weaknesses at all. And even though a lot of their other sets suck, it doesn't matter. The Whirlwind set and the support Barb are just too strong at everything. So that's going to be the same. So Satyr's probably a little bit higher, maybe Wizard's a little bit lower. It's pretty much the same thing. Here, when you see the Firebirds Wizard solo XP, I mean, you can forget this one. Group XP, absolutely not. That's way down. Trash Clear, no. Maybe the RGK, maybe. We can kind of squeak in there. And I don't, the Bone Spirit, you can get rid of this as well. So these 2 new things, you can get rid of those. And that's pretty much it for the tier list. So, one more thing I want to point out. Maxroll has a full write-up on everything. We'll put this link here. Rob wrote this extremely extensive thing. I mean, we're always working on everything. All the guides are going to be coming out. The tier lists are going to be coming out. Make sure you have maxroll.gg bookmarked for all your Diablo needs. So, that's how it wraps up for me. The best way to summarize it for me is right here. If you guys are interested, actually, I left some feedback and I can read it to you. Let me read you one more thing. And I'll give you the feedback that I provided to Blizzard. I said, this is a pretty big nerf to Firebirds. With how many wizards out there are so pumped for it, I would have liked to have seen it stay near the top of the pack at least for one season. But a 15 tier nerf is devastating, and it makes it A tier at best, and it's not even the best wizard build. For overall balance to the game where it landed, it's probably good, but for the excitement of the new season, to me, this hurts a lot. I think the direction of the Rathma changes is good. More cooldown, an Army of the Dead back on the bracers. To me personally, the fun way to play the Rathma set was with Army of the Dead and not with Bone Spirit. Glad you guys fixed the 10 times football field problem where you shoot the Bone Spirits across the whole screen. That was correctly fixed. But this set seems meh to me, and I don't know how to recommend this to any player with stronger options for the Necro in place like Rats and the Bone Spear. The changes to God are quite good. I'm happy with where it landed. Thank you. Mundanugu going down has really hurt Witch Doctors. They have no great builds anymore, and they don't have a spot anywhere in groups. I would have liked to have seen this nerf reduced a bit, and if nothing else, I hope they get some love in the next patch because they are very lackluster, and I'm not even a Witch Doctor player, and I'm advocating for the Witch Doctors. And the fact that the season started on April 2nd, I would have liked to have seen at least another week built in before. I know not everybody feels that way, but this is my feedback. That's what I provide for it. I said this could just be me personally talking, but I blast this game so hard, it's nice to have a little bit of a break in between the two. And of course, I could just stop playing D3, but I'm compelled to blast this game because I'm a psycho. Anyways, if we could dodge landing on holidays for me, that would be good because I think that it hurts some people who want to play who can't, who are spending time with their family. But I know there are going to be some other people that say, I love it when it's on the holidays because I have time off of work. So there's going to be differing opinions there. But that's my feedback. I'd like to have at least a week break between there. And they said previously that they would do that, but they didn't. So, oh well, whatever. I'm going to be ready to blast season 23 anyway. But that's the feedback that I provided. Do you guys agree with it? What is your opinion on everything? But overall, when I look here, it's a lot of good. It really is. I know a lot of you are going to be really upset about the Firebirds nerf, but I will be ready on April 2nd to be blasting. Let me know what you guys think, and many more videos are coming. I'll make a full guide on Firebirds, and I'm undecided if I'm going to make a guide on Rathma. I really might not, because I don't know. It's not that great of a build. I only like to make guides on the builds that are really going to dominate. If you guys really want me to make a Rathma guide, I will. I mean, it's the season starter set, but just go make a Rat or a Bone Spear and you'll be happier. Thank you.